Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to winter. Wanted to shoot a little video and have some fun. It's actually right now, it's Sunday. Family just left church and we got some snow last night. And so with the snow, it just got me thinking about, well, it's probably been a while since I've done a winter video. And I actually even think the last winter video I did, I was also sitting in my truck hanging out. But I wanted to jump back in and I figured, hey, what a good time. It is winter. And a lot of people that we talk to ask those questions on what's the weather like? And yeah, summertime weather, fall, spring, but a lot of people ask like, what is the weather like in the winter? What happens in the winter? Are there things to do in the winter? And so I figured I would just do a little fun video, a little bit of backdrop with some snow back there, and talk a little bit about winter in the Ozarks. And you know, I've mentioned a number of times throughout these videos that, you know, I split my time between Colorado and the Ozarks, and I'm back and forth, and I'm trying to eventually make my way and be full-time in the Ozarks. But in the meantime, you know, we have to kind of do this back and forth. And so what I know being in Colorado or in these northern states is you get way more snow. So a lot of those questions are, you know, on snowfall. How much snow do you get? And, you know, in Colorado, you can get 8 to 12 to 15 inches of snow in one dumping. And understand that in the Ozarks, you get maybe that the entire year. So I think the average snowfall for Lake of the Ozarks is around 8 inches for the entire winter. Okay, and so there's a big draw for that, right? There's a lot of attraction. People are interested in that, especially coming from the northern states. And we talk to people in Colorado or Wyoming or the Dakotas, maybe up in Illinois, like those northern states that are used to, number one, a lot of snow. Okay, so sticking with snow specifically right now, you don't get that much of snow when you're in the Ozarks. Okay, and so it's not going to give you dumpings of snow of 8 to 12 inches or anything like that at one given period of time. What you're normally going to get is some type of snow accumulation of like maybe 1 to 3 inches when it does decide to do it. And now don't get me wrong, right? There are freak occasions where you can get, you know, 6 inches or a little bit more. There are those scenarios no matter where you are really, but on average in general, you just don't get big piles of accumulation. But what you will get is anywhere from like that 1 to 3, that dusting of snow. And just something to think about when that happens, because you're not used to tons of amounts of snow, you don't really have the infrastructure to clear it and clean it and, you know, move it out of the way. Now, there are trucks that can go up and down the main roads, so you'll see the main roads get kind of taken care of and covered, but they're not going to come down your side roads or the roads that are into your property. Those are probably not going to be touched. They're not as well maintained as the main road infrastructure is going to be. So something to think about when you are here, and if you're living here locally and you do get snow accumulation, hey, what does that look like when you're trying to drive around? And another thing it could be difficult is just getting out of your driveway. And the majority of driveways and roads leading into your driveway are going to be steep and difficult sometimes to navigate. Well, if you throw 1 to 3 inches of slick snow on that, it's going to be maybe next to impossible. I know in my driveway that if we got that 1 to 3 inches, you would have to not only clear it off, you'd have to make sure that it's not slick or there's not any patches, because it can get very difficult just getting out of your driveway alone. And so if you have the ability to not go to work that day, right, or maybe you work remotely or you have the ability to work remotely on those days, I'd highly recommend it. But in general, a lot of people ask the question about snow accumulation. You will not get major dumpings of snow. When you do get snow, it's maybe 1 to 3 inches. It might cover the roads, certainly side roads, and probably your driveway. And so just be careful, right? Everything is steep. Remember, the lake is a flooded mountainous area. And so a lot of steep roads, a lot of steep driveways. It's going to be difficult. If it snows, my recommendation is just stay home. Outside of snowfall, The next question we typically get is around temperatures and, cold and stuff like that. And, again, back up to those northern states where you can have sub-zero temperatures more often than none. Now, we know, especially this year, we've already had a cold front come through. What is it? A cyclone bomb or whatever it is, where you have blizzard-like conditions and it covers almost the entire country. So you can have things like that. But in general, a lot of people are really attracted to this area because you don't get a lot of sub-zero temperatures, right? Overnight, sure, the temperatures can definitely drop below zero. Yep, overnight, you can have a little bit more of those cold temperatures, but in general, you have more of a mild winter. And so a lot of folks that we talk to that are in their retirement stages of their life, they're looking for milder winters, less snowfall, and that's definitely what Lake of the Ozarks will provide for you. And so you'll have more days in the 40s, I guess. You'll have overcast and cloudy kind of skies. You're on a big body of water, so you'll have breeze and wind. And then at night when the sun goes down, yes, the temperatures will drop maybe another 20 degrees or so. But depending on where you're at in the country and the reasons why you're moving down here, having those types of mild winters is a bonus, right? It's a positive. And when I'm in Colorado, you can spend a lot of your time in sub-freezing temperatures and overnight freezes, and you got to take care of your property in a certain way. And so think about that as you're either relocating, or if you're contemplating kind of moving down here and making that transition. You're not going to have a massive amount of snowfall that's going to accumulate big piles, and you're also going to have more of a mild winter that's not going to have sub-freezing sub-zero temperatures. You're going to have more of a mild winter, which makes it very much more appealing for those living here permanently. A couple other things to think about in the wintertime. A lot of the reasons why we like to get down to this area is because of the fun in the sun, right? The fun that you can have in the summertime in the lakeside restaurants and the lakeside bars, and understand a lot of those are going to shut down over the wintertime. And so your Memorial Day to Labor Day, that's your peak season. Shortly after Labor Day, sometime in October, maybe the beginning of November, there's just not enough local community to keep all of those restaurants up and running. Some will stay open, but for the most part, they're going to close down for the wintertime, and so will a lot of those tourism type activities. And so if you live here permanently year round, it's just something to think about, right? And I think that probably goes for wherever you live in the wintertime. It's always just a little bit more boring, right? But with those things shutting down and with less activities to do, I think, again, the flip side to that is because of the more mild temperatures in the wintertime, you can still get outside, right? And go hiking and go biking, go for walks, get in nature a little bit. There's a lot of hunting that goes on in the wintertime. You can still get out and ride your four-wheelers, ATVs and side-by-sides, and have a lot of fun with that. And so, yeah, there's no leaves on the trees and it's a little bit more cloudy and kind of just blah. But, again, not a massive amount of snow, not sub-freezing temperatures, way more conducive to still getting outside and doing a few more things recreationally than you could, again, if you're in some of those northern states. So on top of some snowfall, some temperatures, some recreational things, and the transition into wintertime, we also know just from a real estate perspective that things are going to slow down a little bit. The past videos we've been doing, it's exactly what we've been talking about. Not a lot of homes on the market, not a lot of inventory right now. There's still a high demand, but a lot of people are maybe kind of pausing a little bit and waiting. Again, market inflation and rates are still a little bit high. And so the real estate kind of piece over the wintertime, a lot of people that are thinking about selling, moving, transitioning are doing it in the spring and summer, maybe into fall. But all those people that are looking to sell their properties are right now probably working on them, right? They're in their properties, they're painting, they're fixing, they're prepping their homes for when the leaves come back out on the trees and the weather warms up and demand comes up a little bit. And then obviously they're going to try to market that and try to build a little competition around it. So it all goes back to who you are and what you're looking for, because right now is a great time for a deal. Right now is a great time for concessions to buy down the interest rates, and you don't have to compete a lot. Well, you flip it into the summertime where maybe rates are a little bit further down, a lot more competition, still inventory is going to be low. You might find yourself in a different type of market and competing in a little bit of a different way. So just food for thought. A lot of stuff that we've been doing up until this point is trying to show you what's been on the market, encourage you to reach out, shoot me a call, shoot me a text. Let's jump on a Zoom Zoom call together. I'd love to learn about your wants, your needs, your whys, set you up on a home search. You can see everything that's available right now today, and obviously everything that's going to become available in the future once we get out of the winter, out of the snow, right? And we start to get into spring and summer. But just that piece with winter, again, not a ton of snow. You're not going to need a snow blower or any of that stuff. You're not going to have sub-freezing temperatures. The lake rarely freezes. It might freeze in certain spots at certain times, but you're not going to have the entire lake freeze over. I think it maybe have frozen over maybe once from what I've heard from people around here. But because of the milder type of winters, right, there's a lot of draw and attraction for those that are looking to get out of those northern states, super cold, a lot of snow, a lot of wind kind of winters, coming down here where it's a little bit more mild and a little bit of a shorter season too. So anyway, thought I'd jump in. Thought it was unique that we got some snowfall, left church, and decided to come and shoot this video real quick. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope it helps for while you're reaching out and considering and thinking about things. Weather down here is a big topic of conversation. So I always say it right, I love making these videos, but I love more to help you with your needs. So give me a call, shoot me a text, email. I would jump on a Zoom call with you if you'll let me. I would love to help you with anything you need, real estate or lending related. And until then, we'll just see you on the next video.